And you're
And
live.
you're live. All right,
Hello
thank you. Hello
everyone.
everyone,
Welcome to
and
another
welcome to
episode
another
of
part
Brother
of
Challenge.
Project Challenge.
Yes. We
Yes,
have here with
we
us
have here
Mr. Kayode
so
Olubimi, who will be talking to us
we'll be
about
talking to
home
us
health
about home
management
source
in
management
vegetable
in
production.
vegetable
And as usual, my
and
name
as usual, my name
is
is
Chinenye,
Chineke.
the host for tonight. Mr. Kayode, please kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chinenye. Chinenye, hope I pronounce it properly. Okay, my name is Kayode Olubumi. I'm the vegetable production instructor. So you're all welcome for this evening class on plant health management. I believe it's going to be an interactive discussion. I don't want to take it upon myself to be the one talking alone. So I'm expecting a lot of communication and interaction among every one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again,
Thank you
thank you
so
for the
much, sir.
opportunity to interview
Once again,
tonight.
thank you for the
So I
opportunity
have a lot
to
of questions
interview
for you.
tonight.
The
I
first
have a
question I
lot
have
of
for you is
questions for you. Okay. The first question
what
I have for you is
exactly does health management
what
mean in the
exactly does
context of
health
vegetable production?
management mean in the context of vegetable production? What exactly does plant health management mean in the context of vegetable production? Thank you very much, Ms. Chineye. As the statements means plant health management. We all know what health means, and we all know what management means. Management is the judicious use of something, planning, controlling, monitoring, and so on. Health is the well-being of something. When they say you are healthy, that means you are okay, you are fine, you are well. And plant is, how will I define plant? We all know what plant is. Plant is what we see on our day-to-day activity. So in the overall statement, plant health management means this involves the holistic approach that will be used or that is taken or that is done for the overall well-being of your plants. The overall well-being of your plants, how you manage your plants, how you handle your plants, how you plan your plants, the overall well-being from the day you are seeding, from the day you are planting to the last day you are harvesting your plants or your crops. The overall well-being, the operation that takes place that is not having a significant effect on the plants, on the soil, on the environment. That's what plant health management means. And it also involves diagnosing challenges on your farm, monitoring all kinds of challenges on your farm, which include integrated pest management approach, which also includes cultural approach and so on. But you should have this at the back of your mind that when you're talking about plant health management, you are just talking about the overall well-being of your plant, and it includes whatever you're going to be doing from the first day to the last day when you are going to be ending the life cycle of that particular crop. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful
Thank you so
feedback.
much,
I'm
sir,
sure
for
our
that
viewers
wonderful
here from
feedback.
home
I'm sure everyone's
are going to be learning so much from you.
going to be learning so much
So the
from
next
you.
question I have
You're
for
welcome. So the
you
next
is
question I have for you is
pest and disease. So
pest
what are the
and
most common
so
pest
what
and
are the most
diseases
common pests and
vegetable farmers
diseases
face in
vegetable
Nigeria?
farmers face in Nigeria? Thank you so much for that question once again. We have a lot of pests and disease that are a big challenge and a big concern for most vegetable farmers in Nigeria, and we have not, will I say, we have not gotten to that stage. But sometimes you have to know the challenges and know the solution you can profile. We have a lot of pests and disease that are common to vegetable producer in Nigeria. For instance, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we have the issue of tomato Ebola in the north, that's Kano State precisely, where 99% of all the tomato produced there were damaged due to the issue of tomato Ebola. And tomato Ebola is also having another name as Tuta absoluta. That is an insect that destroy all the tomato production. So that's one of the common pests that disrupt our vegetable production, tuta absoluta. We also have the white flies. White fly is very, very common, especially in the dry season. We also have the aphids, we have the crabs. Those are insects that I'm naming. And for the fungi or the disease, we have the root rot, we have the damping off, we have blight, we have bacterial wilt, fusarium wilt, reticulum wilt, and so on. We have a lot of pests and diseases that are very, very common in Nigeria. But let me just stop there because those are the major ones that are more detrimental to your vegetable production. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode. So, to our
Thank you,
viewers
Mr.
that
Kayode.
are just
So,
joining,
to our
you're
viewers
welcome.
that are just joining, you're
Mental
welcome.
health management is very
Mental health
important. And
is
we've
very
heard from Mr.
important. And
Kayode
we
the
heard from Mr.
various common
Kayode
pests
the
that
various common
farmers
pests
are
that
likely to face
farmers
in
are likely
Nigeria.
to face
So, if
in
you want to
Nigeria.
learn how to be
So,
able
if you want to
to
learn how to be able to
implement health management and
implement
prevent
health
all these
management,
pests and
prevent all these pests
you can
and
sign up and register
sign
for
up
Global
and
Challenge
register
3.0
for Global Challenge
by
3.0
visiting
by visiting
globalfresh.com at the page on the
globalfresh.com
screen.
at the page on the
Once
screen.
again,
Once
you're
again,
welcome, everyone.
you're welcome,
And quick
everyone.
feedback.
And
I'm looking to
feedback.
Takayede.
Looking
He
for
has
the
a lot
kind.
to talk
He has a
about
lot to talk to
improvement.
us about.
Like I mentioned earlier,
Thank you
he's
Like
very
I
talking
much.
to
mentioned
us
earlier,
about
he's talking to
improving
us
health
about
management
health
in vegetable
management
production.
in vegetable production.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome once again.
Yes. So the next
Yes.
question I have for
So
you, sir,
the
is
next
on
question I
the
have for you,
role
sir, is on
soil
role
health
soil
plays.
health.
So what role
So
does
what
soil
role does
health
soil
play in
health
preventing
play
plants
in
disease?
preventing
Now we've
plants?
talked about pests and disease.
Now we've talked
So
about
what role
pest
does
and
the soil
disease.
health play in
So what
preventing these
role does the
diseases?
soil health play
And
in
how can
preventing
farmers
and
protect
how
their
can farmers protect their
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Chinonye, once again, because all these questions are very, very vital. By the time you understand all this, it will be easy for you when you are running your vegetable production. Soil health
Yes.
is one of the most important factors in everything you are doing because if your soil is healthy, there is a high tendency that your plants will be healthy. If your soil is not healthy, even if you
Mm.
apply all the IPM and every other techniques you want to use or approach, there is a high tendency that your plants will not be healthy. So the one of the most important factor and concern you should be having is the health of your soil. When that is achieved, when that is done, it's very, very easy for you to move forward. And one of the roles the soil plays in the well-being of your plant or in the health of your plant is a healthy soil. When your soil is healthy, there is a gift from God that is already in the soil, and that is availability of nutrients. There are some nutrients in the soil that will be available for your plants when your soil is healthy. But the moment your soil is not healthy, there is no way that plant can uptake those nutrients. So an healthy soil makes a happy plant. So that's one of the advantage, the availability of nutrients. Another advantage of having a healthy soil is the living organism in the soil. There are a lot of beneficial microorganisms that play a significant role in the well-being of your plants that your plants will benefit from. A lot of activity that goes on the soil. As we all know, soil is living. It's living. So when your soil is living, something must make it to be living. So the activity that goes on, if you see some, for instance, the worms is in the soil, they play an important role in making your soil to be aerated, in making your soil to be soft. So those are one of the privilege of the worms activities in the soil. But you cannot take a worm now and go and put it in a soil that is inert. What do I mean by an inert soil? Inert soil are the soil that most construction engineers use for building. If you notice, there is no, I am very certain most of us, if you are conversant with building operation, you have not seen where they will go to the forest and go and carry virgin sand and be using it for construction. No, it is not done. But you will definitely see the sand they carry, that is inert. It is not living. There is no activity that goes on there. So That is one of the advantage again. The beneficial microorganisms are available, are present, and your plant needs those activities for their own well-being too. Another advantage is the advantage of water holding capacity. A living soil, a healthy soil makes the availability of water to last longer. And when there is water in the soil and it lasts longer, it helps the plant to uptake nutrients because all the nutrients your plant will be taking is through the process of the availability of water. So a healthy soil makes the water to last longer. Also, we talk about aeration. A healthy soil, aeration is like the movement of air in the soil. And as I said, plants are also living things. They breathe. If you overwater your plants, it will choke them and it will kill them. But that is why we always say, do not overwater. When there is flood, we farmers we always cry. Why are we crying? Because we know that there is no way the plants can breathe. It's just like we human that we are underwater. You cannot breathe. Even if you can breathe, it might be for some certain period and you can't hold it anymore. Same thing applies to the plant. So when there is an aeration, that's movement of air in the soil, the plants are able to breathe properly, and when they are able to breathe, it makes them to be healthy. And a living soil also have the availability of carbon, and that is one of the nutrient or the resources that the plants use for their own growth and for their own well-being. Availability of carbon in the soil, and when those things are not available, it leads to a lot of issues. So the availability of your plants to be able to absorb those things plays an important role. So the health of your soil it's is critical for the overall well-being of your plants. And the other thing is, how can farmer build healthier soils? That is a very good question too, because most of us we just make sure we just keep using our soil without considering the health of the soil. That is being unfair to the soil too. They are living things and they need time to also recuperate. Just like we that are working, by the time you work, you need time to rest and to recover so that you can be productive. Same thing applies to the soil. They need time to recover from overusage. So that's why when farmers are using the soil, they should make sure they practice what they call crop rotation. Crop rotation is very, very important, most especially presently now that there is no in the olden days or in the days of our fathers, they practice what we call shifting cultivation or bush fallow because they have enough land that they can always shift to or they can always move to. But presently, we don't really have such land. For a person that have just maybe 1 acre of land to be using, you cannot just keep using that land. So what can you do? You can practice crop rotation. That will help you to manage your soil properly. Another thing is for you to practice cover crop. Like when you plant your cucumber, you shouldn't be too selfish or too greedy to go ahead and plant tomatoes. Fine, there might be of different family, but cucumber is a heavy feeder, tomatoes is heavy feeder. With that, you can easily degrade your soil. So the few times or spacing you can give them, like, okay, I plant cucumber this period. Between these few weeks, let me plant leguminous plants to boost my soil. It goes a long way in the health of the soil. So if farmers can also practice that, it will help them and it will sustain the soil and it will go a long way. Also, there's what we call organic amendment. That's using of compost like poultry manure and other kind of manure to boost your soil. By the time you make use of that consistently, they are also living organism in the compost that will help boost your soil and recuperate the health of your soil. So if farmers can practice that, it will help them to be able to have a good health on their plants. Let me stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you so much,
Kayode.
Mr. Kayode.
You're welcome.
So,
So
once again, welcome everyone
once
who has
again,
joined us this
welcome
evening.
everyone who has joined us
And
this evening.
because we're
And
learning a lot, we've talked
because we're
about
learning a
common
lot, we talked
diseases, we've
about
talked
common
about
diseases, we talked
the
about
importance
the
of plant health
importance of plant
management,
health
and we also talked about
and
the
we
common
also talked
pests and
about the
diseases
common
that
pests and diseases that
farmers
farmers
face. Rather. So if
face.
you've
Rather.
missed our
So if you've
previous
missed our previous
session, you can always go back to our
session, you
Facebook
can
page
always go back to our
or
Facebook uh,
you go to the doctor's
because
page of
page
clinics
the
page as
opportunity
well and
to
watch the playbacks.
and what
Thank
to
you so
play
much.
backs. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Mr.
So,
Kayode, the next question
Mr.
I have
Kyle,
for
the
you
next
is
question I have for you
integrated
is
pest
integrated
management.
pest
So, can you
management.
please
So, can you
explain to
please
us the
explain
concept
to us
of
the concept of
integrated plant pest
integrated
management?
plant vertical?
Thank you very much. Integrated pest management. That is a topic on its own entirely. But I will try to summarize it and make it very, very short because of our time and easy. Integrated pest management. First of all, when you understand the concept of management, it makes your operation to be easy. Management entails in all sectors of life, even in your family. Management is very, very important. So, how you manage your plants, it's very, very vital. And one of the most critical aspects of your crop and the well-being of your plant is IPM. That is the integrated pest management, because almost all the activities that goes on the farm and evolve around your IPM approach. And your IPM approach consists of four important approach. And these approach are: one, the physical approach. The physical approach is the use of for instance, there's what we call sticky trap. Sticky trap is like a trap that has a gum in it. We have different colors. The colors attract different insects. Like the yellow attracts white flies, outfield, the blues attract thrips, and so on. So we also have the pheromones. These are physical approach that you can use to identify the kind of insect, the kind of pests that are detrimental to the health of your plants. So with that physical approach, you know that okay. So these are the insects that are causing havoc to my plant. Then you know what next to do. And what is the next thing to do? Are you now going to try to make use of the chemical approach or the biological approach? That is what we should understand. So now, if you are making use of your physical approach, it cannot undo all the situation you are going to experience on your farm. But it is one of the important approach in your IPM so that you can easily identify the common pests on your field with the physical approach. Even the physical approach, you can also do what we call hand picking. By the time you just see some pests, you can hand pick them. And from there, even if you don't know the name, you can easily Google, you can easily snap it and ask people who are used to it, maybe who are more experienced than you. From there, they can tell you what to do or what next to do. The other approach is the cultural approach. The cultural approach, how you manage your crops. And these are like the pruning, the weeding, the usage of plastic mulch, and so on. Those are the cultural approach. So all this approach plays very, very important role in the health of your plant. And the third approach is the biological approach. The biological approach is the system whereby you are using biological means to tackle the pest and disease on your plant. For instance, we have the neem oil, we have the baking soda, we have the trichoderma, we also have some beneficial insects like the praying mantis that feed on other destructive insects on the plants. We also have the ladybugs. So all those approach are very, very important. And the last approach is the chemical approach. How you make use of your chemical is very, very important also, because that has a residual effect on we humans. So you can't just say because you discover white flies on your field, you just go and carry one pesticide and spray on your field. No, there is a process, and you must understand those process so that it will not cause damage on we humans, because the end product is the humans are the one to feed on what you are producing. So whatever you are doing, you must also consider the health of we humans that are going to eat it. Not just that, even the environment. You must make sure that you are not destroying the environment, that all those activities are taking place. Also, the soil must not be destroyed too, because of you are trying to apply all this approach. All this approach, you have to consider all the three important factors when you are using this IPM, which is the humans, the environment, and the soil. Those three those three factors are what you consider in your IPM. So by the time you are able to understand this, you know that okay, I'm able to make use of my physical approach, the cultural approach, the biological approach, and the chemical approach. So that will help you to be able to manage your plant properly and not to cause adverse effect on we humans, the environment, and the soil. Thank you very much. Hello, can you hear me, Madam Chi? Hello.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
thank
want
you.
this
I
opportunity
want this opportunity. Uh,
my apologies, everyone.
Welcome
Mr.
back,
Kaida,
Madam
I see
Chinenye.
Mr. Kayode, okay.
Yes, I'm with you. I guess the
I'm so
network is very
sorry.
I'm so
bad.
sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
the network here
The
is very
network
bad,
is
but we
very
are used
bad.
to it.
But we are used to it.
You don't have a choice. We're in
Okay, I'll
Nigeria.
just take this
Okay, I'll just take
opportunity
this
to
opportunity
welcome
to
our
welcome
viewers.
our viewers.
So we have a
So we
message
have a
from
message
Thank You
from
Beloved
Thank you,
Sir,
beloved sir.
then
Then
Anibiet,
Annie
Amos.
Viet,
Yes, Amos says
Amos,
good
yes,
evening
Amos
or
says
thank
good
you so
evening.
much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Babatunde, thank you
But
so much
today,
for
thank you
joining
so
us.
much for joining us.
Latunji, also welcome.
Latunji,
Thank you
also
for joining this
welcome. Thank
live
you for
session.
joining the live session.
Blessed Ben, yes, it's a super
Blessed
pack session.
Ben,
Thank you
yes,
so
it's a super
much.
packed session.
Make sure you
Thank you so
register for
much.
Grover Challenge
Make sure you
three
register for
points.
Global Challenge 3 points.
And we also have Hope.
And you
Hope,
also
you're also
have
welcome.
Hope.
Good evening.
Hope you also welcome. Good evening.
Thank you for joining this live
Thank you.
session. Olatunji, yes, the network is really bad.
Olatunji, yes, the network is really bad.
Network here in
Yeah.
Nigeria
How
very bad. We are
okay,
so sorry about that.
very
We
bad.
apologize for
So
that.
sorry about that. I apologize.
Um, Dina, also good evening to you. Thank you for joining this live session. Reverend, I won't believe this is Reverend, but I'll just call you Basi. You're welcome. Thank you for joining this live session. We appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, Victoria is thanking you, Mr. Kayode. She says, thank you, Mr. Kayode. Yes, you've given us super packed information about um, the health of our plants. And I'm sure so many people here will learn how to manage their plants better and how to prevent diseases and pests affecting farms. Then we have Toluwala share. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us this wonderful session. Then Mr. We have Basi. Can we have a recorded version? Yes, you can have. You can actually go back to our Facebook page. Just on Facebook, just search for Leverage Fresh Limited, or you search for Dr. Abide Mitalabi. You will see the recorded live sessions of what the ones we've had before. So you can always go back to watch them, and then it's also super packed with information that you will need for the Grover Challenge 3.0 that is coming up, so you can register. Thank you for, yes, I believe that, yes, you've missed, but you've not missed in a way because you can still go back to watch our recorded sessions. This is also going to be recorded, and you also get to go back to the same Facebook page on Leverage Fresh Limited and Dr. Bilim Talabi's Facebook page to watch it again. Um, Jasper, thank you so much for joining us. You're also welcome. We have so many people joining in this evening. Thank you for all your comments. Oluwafemi, you're welcome. And thank you for joining us. Yes, Mr. Bassi, you're also welcome. Yes, thank you for listening to Mr. Kayode. I'm sure he appreciates your comments. It was, yes, network is really distracting. That's thanks to our Nigerian network. But we really apologize for that. And I'm sure with time the glitch will clear up. Eddie Diong, you're also welcome. Thank you for joining us. And also thanking Mr. Kayode. I'm sure they all enjoyed listening to you. And we still have more questions for Mr. Kayode, so please don't go anywhere. Just keep watching, and he will answer all the questions that we have for him. Kudos to boss, Mr. Kayode. Thank you from Blessed Ben. Francis, thank you also for joining, and we appreciate your comments. We appreciate all your support this night. And then back to you, Mr. Kayode. Thank you for the time once again, and thank you for your patience with the network. We really appreciate you. Thank you, sir. So the next question I have for
So the
you
next question I have for
is
you
the environmental factors. So what
is the
environmental factors
environmental.
may trigger pest or disease outbreak in vegetable farming?
Thank you very much, Madam Chi. And thank you once
Thank you.
again, everybody. You're all
Thank
welcome
you.
once again, and I appreciate your comments. Um, what environmental factors commonly trigger pest or disease outbreak in vegetable? That is a very, very wonderful question because by the time you understand your weather or your climate or the
Mm,
season, it will be easy for you to know what to do at a particular point in time. For instance, presently in Nigeria, we are in raining season, or we are supposed to be in raining season, but it's obvious. I think the issue of climate change is changing everything because it's not been raining for some weeks now. There have been droughts all over, so we pray it rains. But on a normal system, we should be in raining season. So a season like this, you should expect more of fungi disease on your field. You should expect more of bacterial issue on your field. You should expect more of locusts like uppers on your field because this season they are more paramount with it, especially for fungi issue, bacterial issues. This season it's a season that accommodates them very well. So by the time you understand that, you have it at the back of your mind how to prepare and plan on what to do. For instance, one of the important thing to do in a season like this, you want to go ahead and plant your, let me say, for instance, tomatoes, and you know that this is a raining season. The first thing you should consider is the characteristics of the tomato. What does the tomato have that can withstand or that can help to mitigate this season? or the issue we are going to experience this season. For instance, we understand that this season is common with bacterial wilt. So I should know that, okay, if I want to buy my tomato varieties, because we have different varieties, I should know that the first thing I should consider is, the issue of bacterial wilt. So by the time you know that, okay, what kind of seed can I buy that can withstand to bacterial wilt? Am I online? Am I still available? Am
Yes,
I
you
still
are.
available? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are.
are.
Okay, okay. So as I was saying, now that you want to plant tomatoes, for instance, you should know that this season, the characteristics that that particular tomato variety you want to plant have will plays a significant role. For instance, you go to your shop, to the agro shop, and you're asking them you need a tomato variety that have high resistance to bacterial wilt. It is one step ahead that, okay, this variety is having resistant to bacterial wilt, and you know that this season is common with the issue of bacterial wilt. You have saved yourself a lot of issues in the long run because you already got a variety that can withstand that challenge. So that's one of the challenge you experience. So another thing is, now that you know that, okay, I have gotten a variety that can at least withstand this challenge, the issue of bacterial wilt. How do you go ahead and prepare your soil? What are the pesticide or fungicide you are going to use to mitigate or to control the issue of the bacterial wilt? How are you going to prepare your soil? Are you going to sterilize your soil? Are you going to use inoculant? Are you going to use some other chemicals to control the issue of bacterial wilt? By the time you understand that, it makes it easy for you. So for the dry season too, we understand that for dry season, the issue of white flies is very, very common. In short, it's one of the major challenges you will be coming across in the dry season, white flies. So by the time you know that, dry season, it is white fly that is common. So you already have the idea that, okay, what kind of seed can I buy that can fight white flies? And white flies, it is not even about the white flies, because it is about what they will transfer in the long run. And what are they transferring? Virus. So by the time you go to the agro shop now, you tell them I need a seed that can withstand tobacco mosaic virus or tomato yellow leaf curl virus. That is the kind of viral check for to be able, this is one step ahead of mitigating the issue of fighting white flies. And with other IPM, that is the integrated pest management approach you will be using. For the fact that the seed is resistant to bacterial wilt does not mean that you will just not do any other thing. You have to also practice all your physical approach, chemical approach, cultural approach, and biological approach. So all this approach plays an important role. And the season too. That is, when you understand the season, you are conversant with the pests you should be experiencing in the dry season. We know that whitefly is common. In the rainy season, it is more of fungi disease, bacterial disease. Then you should know that these are what I am going to do. This is how I'm going to go about it. This is how I'm going to manage the situation. With that, to make your work or your management approach easy. And this, in the long run, plays a good role in your plant health. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you,
I'm
Mr.
sure our
Kayode.
viewers here can see that Mr. Kayode is one of the Grow Veg instructors, so you can see that
Thank
there's
you
a
You're
lot in store for you.
welcome.
And
You're welcome.
so once you're able to register for the Grow Veg Challenge 3.0, you can see that there's a lot you're going to learn, not just from Mr. Kayode and other Grow Veg instructors. So please don't snooze on this. Hurry now to growveg.leveragefresh.com to register for Grow Veg Challenge 3.0 to learn more. Zakayade has a lot to tell you about, and but the questions we prepared will just give you a guide to see for you to understand vegetable farming, how to also prevent pests and disease, and also the importance of the health of your plants in vegetable production. Thank you also once again for joining us, Victoria. Victory rather. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening to Winnie, and thank you for joining this live session. Please keep watching, and because we have more questions for Mr. Kayode tonight. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Kayode, the next question I have for you is focused on
Focused
pest
on
outbreaks.
test outbreak.
So, at
Okay.
what
So at
stage,
what
at what
stage,
stage of
at what stage prob-
should the farmer be
should the
alert
farmer be alert
in terms of
in terms
disease
of
or pest
disease
outbreak?
or pest outbreak?
Thank you very much, Madam China. Yeah. Let me rephrase the questions. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead,
Hello.
sir.
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. You cannot say because he's still a baby, you are not going to take care of him or her, or you're going to take care of him or her. You cannot say because the baby has not become a teen or man, you won't take care of her. So what am I trying to say? From the day the baby is giving birth till the day he or she will leave the land or kick the bucket, it is very, very vital to take care of the baby that eventually become an adult and become an old person till the baby or till he or she dies. So the same thing applies to your plant. The moment you have taken up that step or that decision that I want to plant tomato, not even planted, that I want to plant, that is the moment you should take every step important, every stage important. The moment you seed, you have to be very, very proactive in everything you are doing. From the day you seed till the day that seed becomes fruit, till the day you finish harvesting that seed that has become fruit, very, very important, because at every point in time there is an important activities or protection or prevention that needs to be taken care of. So it is very, very important that you take care of your plant from day zero to the end of day, that you know that you are satisfied with what this plant has given you or has done. Let me just end it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I say
Thank
that
you. I
You're
say that
welcome.
Mr. Kalu has a
Mr.
lot that
Kolo
he
has
wants
a
to
lot that he
share,
wants to share,
but he's reserving
but
it
he's
for
reserving it
those
for
who
those who
register for Global
register
Challenge
for Global
event.
Challenge.
So please register so that you can hear more. He has a lot to tell you about. So the next question I have for Mr. Kayode is:
Kayode
are
is,
these specific
are these specific
agrochemicals or
agrochemicals or
biopesticides
biopesticides
you can
you
recommend
can
for common
recommend for
vegetable
common
pests?
vegetable pests?
Thank you, Madam Chinenye. That's a very important question. Very, very important, because the pesticide you are to make use of is what will determine how you are going to manage your insects, your pests, your disease. So there are many products out there. For instance, if I am very certain there are some participants right here presently that are from the north, and if I should ask them, go and get me 5 star, do you think they will know what 5 star is all about? Do you think they will even understand what 5 star is all about? They might think I'm talking about 5 star hotel or maybe one 5 star designer whatsoever. No, but what I mean is fungicide. 5 star is the fungicide with azoxystrobin as the active ingredient. So what I always tell people is this: you don't focus on the brand name, you focus on the active ingredient. By the time you get used to the active ingredient, it will be easy for you to go to your agro shop and say, give me Mancozeb. So if they have Z Force, you know that it is Mancozeb that is the active ingredient, you can buy it. I can tell you to give me Flash One, and in your own region there, they can be having Fosetta, or let me say Bonso. Bonso have the same active ingredient with Flash One, but the brand name will cause confusion on us. So that's why I always tell people, don't focus on the brand name. Focus on the active ingredient of what you want to do or what you want to use. So we have a lot of active ingredients for fungicide, the same thing for insecticide, but I'll just be listing few, and You should try and get used to them, because that is what will help you to be able to buy whatever you need in the long run. So we have a common one, the Mancozeb. Mancozeb, I think, is very, very common, but it has different company name or brand name. We have the Mancozeb, we have the simazanil, we have the metalazine, we have the azoxystrobin, we have the carbendazine, we have the, what is it called, hydrogen peroxide. We even have we have a lot of them. We have a lot. When I mean a lot, we have a lot. We have a lot. So let's me just stick to that. And for the insecticide too, we have a lot of insecticide with active ingredients. For instance, we have imidacloprid, that is an insecticide. Um we have abamectin. Abamectin, that is another active ingredient. We also have emamectin benzoate. We also have flubendamide and so on. So by the time you understand those active ingredients, you know the function, you know the classification and group. It will be easy for you to go to your agro store and say, give me this, because you've already seen the active ingredient. Maybe what you want to kill is white fly. So you can just say, give me what they have in there. In our own side, I can be seeing Trusteel. Trusteel is a brand name. But in your own side, you can be seeing Punch. But we are dealing with the same active ingredient but different name. So it is easy for you to like, okay, give me this, because you know what you want to buy already. But by the time you now go to the agri shop without having any idea, it will be easy for the people selling to say, this one they work, this one is working, this one is working, because they know that you don't know what you want to buy. You are just here to buy anything. Can you tell you to take something that might even destroy your crop? But by the time you go with the impression, like, I know what I'm going to buy. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. Is what I want. It will be easy. They can't even say anything. They'll just tell you the price and you pay and you go. So with that, it will be easy for you to identify what you want to tackle, what you want to challenge. So as I said, we have a lot of fungicide with active ingredients, biofungicide, biopesticide with different active ingredients. The same thing applies to the insecticide. So let's try and it's not easy to get used to the active ingredients name, because some of them are very, very difficult. But as time goes on, you will get used to it. You will get used to it. Even if when you are not used to it easily, by the time you get to the agro store, you can even write it down and take it to the agro store. You carry your book and you check azo. If by the time you pronounce, you check all the available stock they have in the shop, you can say, this one is azo. Okay, it is the same thing. You just pick it up. Thank you very much, Madam Chi. I think I've said enough.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
So, as Mr. Kayode has rightly said, if you want to be able to master these recommendations he has given us tonight, the best way that I can suggest for you is that you should join Grover Challenge 3.0. He will give you a full list of all these agrochemicals or biopesticides that you need in order to prevent pests or diseases in your vegetable farms. Um, Mr. Kayode, the next question I want to ask you is on early detection when it comes to signs of bacterial wilt or downy mildew. What should a farmer do when they encounter this early detection?
We've talked about bacterial wilt briefly, but we've not touched down in mildew. For I am very certain we have a lot of senior farmers in the house that have planted cucumbers and so on. And you are going to be conversant with downy mildew and powdery mildew. And that's one of the major challenges of cucumber. If there is a way they can have a variety that will not have the issue of downy mildew, I'm sure nobody else will be doing tomatoes or bell pepper. They will just focus on cucumber, and because it is one of the shortest crop to plant, and at 35 days, 40 days, you have started making your money. So it's a sweet crop, but the major challenge is the downy mildew. And one of the ways you can control or mitigate or manage the issue of downy mildew on your plants by the time you detect it early is for you to prune. You prune the leaves and you take them far and bury them or you burn them. That's one of the ways. Second, you disinfect every tools that has come in contact with that particular plant or whatsoever they feel that you think has come in contact with it, you disinfect them. You can make use of hydrogen peroxide to disinfect your tools that you're making use of on the farm. That's one of the way you can also control downy mildew. And if the issue is significant, you can remove the plant. That is removing the plant from the plant population so that it will not spread, especially for plants with bacterial wilt. Bacterial wilt is a disease that does not have a solution. When your plant is affected with bacterial wilt, just say sorry. So that's why we always try everything possible to prevent it. And one of the best way you can prevent bacterial wilt is to buy a resistant variety seed that have high resistance to bacterial wilt, because when and bacterial wilt is soil borne. So another important factor is the way you prepare and manage your soil to control the disease. Bacteria which can be on the soil for years. And when you start experiencing it, you lose all your investment and there is nothing you can do about it. So those are very, very important. So one of the factors or one of the things you can do is for you to remove the plants that are infected. You also practice crop rotation. Crop rotation is very, very important because there are some disease that have developed resistance and they are already on the soil. They're already used to the soil. So by the time you plant that same crop that you remove from that particular spot, definitely you're putting yourself in a critical danger. So by the time you practice crop rotation, it will make the disease to be confused. They won't know what to do. So what happens? They eventually die off and look for another location. So crop rotation is very, very important in whatever you are doing. So with that, you are going to be fine and you are going to be okay. But just make sure that for the downy mildew, you prune, which is very, very important. You take them far from your field, you burn them or you bury them, you sterilize your tools that you are making use of on the farm, and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I know that we have prepared a lot of questions for you, but it's also not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of our viewers here tonight, so they can also learn plant health management, especially in vegetable production. That's the essence of this live session and the purpose of we having inviting Mr. Kayode for you guys watching us tonight. So another question we have for Mr. Kayode is on how a farmer can differentiate between a pest attack and a nutrient deficiency.
Patience.
Hmm. Thank you so much for that, how will I say it, for that technical question, because sometimes we mix it up. We always mix it up. There is pest, there is disease, and there is nutrient deficiency. So we just classify everything as one. No, but there are difference. When you're having the issue of pests and your field, when you're having the issue of disease, definitely you know what to do. I have to find solution. What is the solution? Is it your what approach do you want to make use of in controlling such damage? So how do we differentiate between pest attack and nutrient deficiency? One of the major differences is this: the location of damage. Location of damage. Um, the pests does not occur all around your plants. There's a particular spot or place there will be. They can only tackle all the plants if you didn't take immediate action on them. I believe you get what I'm trying to say. For instance, you go to your field, you are doing your observation and monitoring, and you notice white fly. The white fly cannot just cover your plant overall. There must be a spot where they are
Where they are
sucking the
talking, where they
sap
are
from the
talking.
plant. So with that, you know that you have to spray or you have to do what needs to be done to tackle that challenges. Unlike the nutrient deficiency, when your plant is lacking nutrients, it tells in the overall health of the plant from the beginning to the health. It's just like we human, if you're lacking nutrients, your head cannot show sign that the head is not lacking nutrients and the leg is healthy. No. When you're lacking vitamin A, it is all your body that will tell us that you are lacking vitamin A. Same thing applies to your plant. When there is a deficiency of nitrogen, it shows on the overall health of the plant. It does not show in a particular section or a particular spot. So one of the way to differentiate it is the location of damage. The pest will have a spot and they gradually move to another section, but nutrient deficiency, it's overall. Another aspect is the type of damage. Type of damage. When you are having the issue of insect destroying your plant, it's either they are making holes on your plant, they are cutting the leaves, they are cutting the seedlings, they are cutting the spots. But nutrient deficiency does not occur that way. The only way you can identify your plant is lacking nutrient is stunted growth. That is one of the way. And another way is the signs on the leaves that this plant is lacking nitrogen, this plant is lacking phosphorus. And what are the signs of nitrogen deficiency on your plant? The leaves will be becoming yellow. By the time you notice your leaves is becoming yellow, then you quickly take the action of feeding them nitrogen. But that does not mean because the leaf is showing yellow, it is the leaf that is lacking. The leaf is only giving you a sign that, I'm suffering, I need nitrogen, I need nitrogen. That was a cry. And that nitrogen that you think you are just seeing has been there for weeks, just that they cannot control it anymore. That's why the leaves have come out to cry. That's the only way they can cry. They can't speak. So I'm dying, I need help. That's what they are saying. When you are seeing sign of purple color on your leaves, it's a sign of phosphorus deficiency. So they are crying, I need phosphorus. So that's the sign how they can cry and tell you that I'm suffering from phosphorus. Please feed me phosphorus. So with that, you can identify and know that this plant is lacking this particular spot. Why another important way to differentiate it is the availability of insects on your crop. By the time you see white flies, you know it is insect. By the time you see cricket, you know it is insect. By the time you see spider, you know it is insect. So they must be available on that plant. If they are not available, then there is no issue. But that is a sign. Sure, that's one of the major signs how you can differentiate between a plant that is being affected by insect pests and a plant that is being deficiency of nutrients. The insect must be available. That is a must because something must be feeding on the plant, and that's the insect. So with that, you can differentiate it easily. Thank you very much, Madam Chine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So most of the participants who have already registered for the Grover Challenge 3.0 are farming in different environments. Some are within the southern region, east, west, north, even outside Nigeria. We have varied participants. So, what unique health tip do you have for open field and protected cultivation, sir?
What unique plant up tips do I have for people who are producing all over the world? Hmm. Thank you very much for that question. The unique health tips that we all need is the same all over. The only thing is the approach we are using and the system and the IPN. You know, for instance, in Kenya, they might be making use of, let me say, they might be making use of an approach that is conversant with azoxystrobin, and maybe it is working perfectly well there. While in Nigeria, we might be making use of simazanil, and it is working well here. But we are also fighting the same issue, but the approach is different, but the goal is the same. So, what are the tips that I can give? There are many tips, but I will just name a few. One of the most important tip is this: irrespective of your location, the mode or the pattern you water is very, very important. Watering your plants is very, very important in the overall well-being of your plant. If you don't water adequately, there is no way your plants will do well. There's no way your plants will be fine. Your plant will never be happy. Your plant cannot grow. All the nutrients, fertilizer, pesticide you are spraying, it is through the help of the water that they can function. So adequate watering is very, very important. Very, very important. And also another tips or health tip is the health of your soil. You have to take the health of your soil serious because, as I said earlier, the health of your soil determine the health of your plant. If your soil is healthy, your plants will be healthy. So it is the same thing all over. Also, if you are doing the open field and even the greenhouse or the controlled environment, the availability of sunlight, how do you control your sunlight in the open field and in the controlled environment is very, very important. But we cannot control the sunlight in the open field. So how do you manage a situation like that? There are some IPM approach you can take or you can do. It includes, for instance, you realize that this plant is overstressed because there is no rainfall or there is drought. And when there is drought, the plants are prone to all kinds of disease because their immune system will be weak. So that's will definitely lead to the plant dying in the long run or not giving you the expected outputs that you are expecting from them. So what do you do in a situation like that? Even when you are watering, the watering might not be enough. So you need to look for other factors that you need know that this will also help the health of the plant, like the anti-stress, antibiotics, multivitamins that the plant can take that will make sure it boosts their immune system and give them a serious resistance to disease in the drought period. Is very, very critical. Also, another tip is the identification of pest and disease. The identification of your pest and disease is the same thing everywhere. I am making use of sticky traps here. I am making use of pheromones here. You can also make use of sticky trap in your location. You can also make use of pheromones in your location. You can also make use of and pick of some insect in your location. So it is the same all over the place. Also, another tip is crop rotation. These are what are important for the overall well-being of your plant. By the time you practice crop rotation, you know that you are managing your soil, you are managing your plant, and you are managing your environment too. And in the long run, you will enjoy the benefits of what you are doing. Also, keeping record is very, very important. By the time you have challenges and there is no record, it will be difficult for you to go back and know what you did to resolve the issue you have. For instance, if you plant your previous production, you have the issue of bacterial wilt, but there is no record for that. It will be very, very difficult for you to remember. So you are now having the same issue. What will you do? You won't know what to do because you don't have record. But when you have record of every activity, every operation from the day you seed to the day you transplant, to how you prepare your soil, to your feeding regime, your nutrient regime, and so on, it will be easy for you to go back to your drawing board and like, okay, last year I observed virus on my farm. So this year, I think if something like this should occur, I should be able to manage it because this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did. It will be very, very easy for you. Also, you need to stay informed with what is happening out there. You need to stay informed. You need to connect to other farmers, your colleagues, and know what is going on. For instance, there has been and there has been some research work like there. I don't want to name the fungicide for secrecy, but this particular fungicide is not active, it's not effective on this on bacterial wilts anymore. So if I am not connecting, if I am not informed about it, I won't know. I'll just go to the agro store and buy it, and I'll just use it, and in the end, I'll just discover that this thing is I'm still having this issue. But you didn't know that because this particular product is not working or is not effective anymore because the disease you want to tackle have already built immunity around that particular fungicide or pesticide. But because you are informed, you are doing findings, you are doing research and so on, it makes it easy for you to like, okay, okay, oh, nice one. Oh, no, 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 from discovery. It makes it easy for you to like this particular stuff. No, 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 I can't use this because you are informed, you are connecting, you are relating with your other colleagues and getting the latest. In the agri sector, in the agri space, there is no I know it all because you might have a challenge that will make you look like you don't know anything. So, but by the time you like you make a contact, you make a call, you have a challenge, you're able to call, please, I am having this issue on my farm. Have you experienced it before? What did you do? How did you solve it? How did you resolve the issue? It will be easy for you. For like some weeks back, somebody called like he's having an issue of his plant wilting. The first thing I asked him was, did you apply fertilizer? He said no. I said uproot the plant. So we discovered that the plant was having issue of nematode attack. So what did we do? Okay, go and get Xylon Prime and apply to your soil. And when he did it, he discovered that the thing works and the tension reduced. But if the person has not interacted or connected and he felt that I am a done in this stuff now, why will I connect or link up it or ask? You will eventually be dying in silence. And in the long run, the resources, the time, the money, the investment, everything will just waste. Thank you very much. I think I should pause there.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
So I have
thank you.
one more
So I have one
question.
more
I
question.
have one more question for you, but before we proceed to that question, I want to take this question from one of our viewers, Francis. Francis Ogude says, "What is your view on the usage of organic fertilizers for vegetables compared to using other fertilizers?"
Other fertilizers.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Francis Ogude, for that question. There is no special view on organic fertilizer. Fertilizer is fertilizer. It's just that organic fertilizer are slow release fertilizer. They are fertilizer that are being gradually released. Just as the adage says, organic plus inorganic equals to happy plants. You understand? So by the time you are making use of organic and inorganic, perfect. If you want to make use of organic alone, perfect. We have all kind of organic fertilizer. We have the neem cake, we have Tictona, we have organic calcium and so on. So you can make use of them as far as you are getting your result. It is fine. But understand something, organic is more expensive to some extent, and the market does not differentiate organic or inorganic. The most important thing is if you are doing organic, fine. If you are doing inorganic, you should understand that the health of the people that will eat your plants or your crop is very, very important. So you must understand how to go about the IPM approach so that you can have a healthy fruit at the end of the day. Because for instance, now you want to harvest your cucumber tomorrow and you are spraying caterpillar force today. It is not healthy. It is very, very wrong because the crop is going to markets tomorrow. So you should understand that there is a time frame when you are supposed to spray and when you are not supposed to spray so that there will be no residual effects on the fruits that the people will consume. Because the end goal is for you to produce something that is healthy for the consumption of the people, not to produce something that will cause more damage to the system of the people. In as much as we are thinking about money and business, we must also consider the health of the people that will feed on it. The overall well-being of the plant still ends down to the people that will feed on it. So we have to balance it. Thank you very much. I believe I answered your question, Mr. Francis.
Yes, I believe so too.
Yes, I believe so
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Kayode.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode.
You're welcome.
Okay, so moving on,
Okay, so
we
moving
have some more
on,
questions.
we have some more questions.
And that question,
And
it's focused
that
on
question,
we were
focused
talking
on
about
we're
plant
talking about
health
plant
management
health management.
in vegetable production, and which we know of that you have a wide experience about. So I'm looking at you telling us key lessons from your experience um, for our GrowVeg participants and our prospective ones that are going to register soon. What are the takeaways that you can give to us or key lessons? regarding the keeping of our vegetables healthy throughout the season.
Key lessons from my experience. Wow. So our participants, there are a few key lessons that or few key tips that I will just mention so that you can have a good plant health. One of the key lesson is this: you must have a goal. What is your goal? Are you doing this for a business or you just want to do it for consumption? You must have a goal. And your goal, is it a short-term goal or a long-term goal? When you have that, then you have a definition of what you want to do. The second one is, what is your plan? You must have a plan, irrespective of whether you are doing it for short term or long term. For the period of that particular production cycle, there must be a plan. So what do you intend to do during those periods? How do you intend to apply your nutrients? How do you intend to practice your integrated pest management approach? So those are your plans. So how do you intend to go about it? So what are the things you'll be doing in those process? That is your plan. Another one is you must have a structure. The structure will give you a template on how to run your operation. If there is a structure, it makes your work easy. It makes it to be more professional and to know what you are doing. It's not like you just come to your field this morning and what am I going to do today? What am I going? Is there anything? Let me check. I noticed this plant is having what is this? What is this? What is this? This looks like caterpillar, maybe caterpillar piercing your fruits. So that is not good enough. So you must have a structure that these are how I want this thing to be running. Even when you are not there, the structure is still there. When the structure is there, when you go out, somebody else might be there, but because of the structure that has been put in place, it will make it to run effectively without any challenge. And also, I always preach prevention. I'm a farmer that practice prevention. I try everything possible to make sure my approach is preventive instead of curative. Because the moment you are trying to practice curative, definitely it has become a major challenge. So what do I mean by preventive? Your structure, your plan should be preventive. I don't want this thing to happen. This thing must not happen because you already understand that these are the likely challenges I'm going to experience during those process. So your approach should be preventive. Okay, from the seedling stage, I know that the major challenge I should be experiencing is maybe leaf miner, early blight, damping off. So you already know that there's an approach that will tackle that challenges. By the time you are transplanting, you already know that the challenges that you might be experiencing is uppers, cutting your seedlings, spider mites, crickets, cutting your seedling. So that already give you an idea like, okay, this period, these are what I am going to do to mitigate this challenge. And also, maybe when they start flowering, you know that during the flowering stage, it is more of the aphid, thrips, destroying your flowers, burning them, and so on. That process, you know that, okay, this flowering stage, these are what I am going to do, and caterpillars when they are fruiting and so on. So you know that when your plant is fruiting, it is more of caterpillar concern. So you already have an idea of what to do and how to go about it. This will help you to manage your plant effectively and for that production cycle to be well managed. Also, another important tip is you have to be well knowledgeable. Anyway, that is why Global Challenge 3.0 is here. The information is here, the guidance, everything is available for you at the tips of your finger. So you are privileged to be here. Once again, I'm going to say you are highly welcome because for you to be here, you want to be here, and at the end of the day, you will be proud and you'll be glad you are here. I can 100% guarantee you that because it is going to be a movement, a journey of enjoyment from the one to the end of the day. So another thing is you're already in a platform. You can, if you notice, there are a few communication that are already ongoing. So that's the way you link up, that's the way you connect, that's the way you meet people, the people in your environment, in your area. You can link up, you can visit them, you can see what they are doing. You can see how they are going about it. You can share ideas. You can come together. You can partner. You can start something huge. Sometimes it is better to have 1% shares in a group than to have 100% ownership. So all those things plays a part, and it will help you to to be bouncing and to be a food ambassador. And what is the goal? Our goal is to make sure there is food available for all, healthy food to be produced, to fight hunger, zero hunger, and food security. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Kayode.
you, Mr.
This was
Uh,
a well-packed session.
well-packed
Like some of
session.
our viewers
Some
earlier
of our
mentioned,
viewers earlier mentioned.
we are grateful for the opportunity to have you here to discuss all these preventive measures and plant health management with all our viewers. And I'm sure they've learned one thing or the other. And please, we've come to the end of our live session. Please remember to visit groveg.leveragefresh.com to register for Groveg Challenge 3.0 if you've not registered. And you can still always watch this live session again on our Facebook pages, either on Leverage Fresh Limited Facebook page, or you search for Dr. Bidemi Talabi's Facebook page and watch this live session with the previous ones, so you can get all the information you need, all the questions that you would have. It has been answered already on all these live sessions that have been going on. And I know that those who are yet to register will be convinced and be able to join this movement, as Mr. Kayode has mentioned, because there's a lot for you to learn aside from what you watch on our live sessions. Thank you all for joining us this wonderful live session. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your feedbacks. Thank you for commending Mr. Kayode for all his contributions and his answers to all the questions. And
All the
thank you
questions.
also, Mr. Kayode.
And thank
It's
you
been
also,
a
Mr.
pleasure
Kayode.
hosting
It's
You're
been
welcome.
so
field entertainment, and thank you so much
good
as
and
well.
thank you so much as well.
You're
Good
welcome.
night, everyone.
Have a lovely night
Good
rest.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.